Wow, it's here already. Good morning. 1:11. Yeah, I've been fighting against the clock to get the blurb written and everything. It was only about 10 minutes to 1 when I decided I was going to do the video today because I had woken up and could not fall right back to sleep. So here I am at the computer doing a video that is entitled, Are Government Officials Mind Controlled? My friend Nancy sent me a video uh, of a Florida chief of police that was busted in a sting operation for attempting to hire a prostitute working undercover. Or I should say probably a cop working undercover, but that's not what I wrote. Um, I said I'd like to see most of them arrested for violations of their oaths of office, false arrests, aggravated assaults, and far more serious crimes than trying to buy sex. She commented that a deputy sheriff in the next county here in Ohio, where she lives, was charged with rape and resigned recently. I commented, the train of justice moves much more slowly than it should because so much of the injustice comes from the very courts and so-called law enforcement. Such an insane world. End quote. She added, the people in the video I'm watching say the judges and law enforcement, as well as politicians, are under mind control. Could there be truth to this? I don't know where that word came from. Of course, I had Dragon Naturally Speaking on, so maybe I didn't shut it off quickly enough. Anyway, yeah, this was a topic that came up really fast. I had been thinking of something else, but then thought this is a topic that I can cover because it's an interesting question of whether or not people that are making all these insane psychopathic decisions are actually under mind control. And if so, who's the one that's doing the mind control? Is it extraterrestrials? Is it some banker elite establishment? I don't know the answer to the question, so this video is going to be speculative in nature, at least in some areas where all I'm doing is playing around with ideas. It does certainly appear to me, when I look at the situation in the world, that somebody's gone out of their freaking gourd. I mean, the things that people are doing are criminally insane, including judges stealing homes. I mean, when I go to court again here Tuesday, the 3rd of February, here in Brevard County for a hearing on the motion to dismiss. But I've also filed a counterclaim against the attorney because she claims to represent PNC Bank, but she's provided no documentation to that effect, and neither has the bank. In three days of attempting to get an answer, did they really hire her? Does she work for them on their behalf? They have not provided that answer. And so I have filed, as I said, a counterclaim against her as a counterclaimant, which is sort of like a plaintiff type action. So we'll see how that trial goes tomorrow, or that hearing goes tomorrow, because it's up before the judge that supposedly signed the summary judgment that they're basing their attempt or claimed ownership of my home on. And I never appeared before that judge, but he's the one that signed the thing, which means there probably had to be a secret hearing or a secret trial, which is absolutely a felony by the judge. By judges. Judges are not allowed to hold secret tribunals. That's against the law in American jurisprudence. And as I said, it's a felony. Now, the question that Nancy raised is interesting. Are they really under mind control? Now, I don't know what video she was referring to, and the conversation ended right there. So I didn't ask her, well, what video is this that you're watching that makes that claim? But it would explain a lot of things, wouldn't it? But then again, would it? Because people are greedy, and we know that the bankers have tried to rule the world for a very long time. We know that they are not reputable, upstanding, honest people, especially not at the highest levels, especially not at the CEO and COO and CFO levels, and the people that are behind the scenes in all of the international banking cartel, whether it's the Rockefellers, the Morgans, the Rothschilds, or whoever it is. These are not people that have operated honorably on planet Earth. And they have actually bought our governments. They have bought our multinational corporations, which is why so much of the insanity goes on and on and on, unchecked, and without remedy. I mean, it doesn't even make sense to the people that understand and do the investigation of what's actually happening in our world, especially in our institutions. Now, the idea of police being mind controlled, to me, is somewhat believable, because they are known, from what I've read and heard, they are known not to want people that are too intelligent, and the way that they behave, I mean, they receive very poor training at the very least, but it could also be mind controlled that they are so brutal and often so lacking in ability to even reason, and they don't even want to converse with you. Now, this is training, but could it also be mind control, that they are just simply behaving? I hate it when hair gets one of my beard hairs or something gets in my mouth. It's annoying. Anyway, it would answer the question of why, for example, that policeman in September came up to my window and said, "Get out of the car." I mean, he didn't just say it, he yelled it. And everything that he was doing was yelling and in anger. And I hadn't had any conversation with him at all. I hadn't interacted with him in any way. The only thing that I know is that I had been labeled probably a citizen, what do you call it? I don't even remember the term now. Not a patriotic citizen, but a citizen is someone that a sovereign citizen, someone that stands up for the truth and stands up for the Constitution and stuff like that. Those are considered terrorists by the real terrorists who operate our governments, who operate our institutions, who operate the banks. Is there mind control going on? The ambassador often says that people are ignorant. Now, how much of that ignorance is due to the mere fact that the system itself makes people ignorant on purpose by withholding information, by withholding technologies that would help us advance and evolve along a line that would ultimately liberate us? How much of it could actually be held responsible, for the person or the individuals actually be held responsible in a court of law? Because they're like children, or even worse, like a robot that's simply programmed to behave a certain way and to perform certain functions. If that's true, then the real criminal is the mind controller. Now, if there was a mind controller, who would that be? Would it be an extraterrestrial group of people that, as some claim, simply want to eat the energy, create as much negative energy because that's their food, that's their sustenance? Well, if such a group of extraterrestrials exists, and that's what they were created to do, and they themselves are only behaving the way they were created to behave, whoever created them is responsible for taking them out. Now, I am an inclusionist, and I'm all in favor of redeeming everything that can possibly be redeemed. But people or beings that need negativity in order to survive, that they know that they will die without it, that's an anomaly in creation, and that's something that probably cannot be redeemed or should not be allowed to even exist anymore, as I see it. So the whole concept of a mind-controlled culture, as you know, I'm against ignorance, yes, but I'm even more against mind control. That's the real enemy. The mind controllers are the real terrorists in any culture, anywhere in the cosmos. People that would take advantage of other beings, or beings that would take advantage of other beings for nefarious purposes and violate the prime directive of do no harm and do not cause loss and do not violate the free will of any other. They wantonly violate the free will of everyone else. They do not follow the law. Truth doesn't matter. Love doesn't matter. They are incapable and totally insensitive to common sense, to rationality. They don't have it. They've been programmed to behave a certain way. This is a consideration. I'm not saying it's true, but it would explain how certain things happen in our world. Why otherwise seemingly intelligent judges would go in cahoots with criminal bankers to rob the people, knowing in their hearts that they are violating their own oaths. They are violating every law in the book in the United States for sure. I mean, it is criminal conspiracy to defraud. And there is no statute of limitations on that. We need, if that were the case, we would need to bring down many of these judges and hold them accountable for their actions and stop this nonsense that's been going on our planet far too long. The ambassador talks about taking baby steps. We want peace, but we have to be intelligent enough to address the areas in our culture, in our society, that prevent peace from happening. And one of those could very easily be the mind control of this extraterrestrial group or this clique of individuals at the international banker level that are sociopathic at the very core. I mean, is the sociopathy a program that is being run? Now, we do, each of us, have psychopathic and sociopathic tendencies within us because, again, this is a holographic universe. What is contained in the whole is contained in each part. That's simply the way it is. It's not conjecture, I don't believe. That's simply scientific fact. Everything has been created more or less as a hologram, because all of physical existence is holographic in nature. That's what I believe to be the truth. Now, again, I go to court on Tuesday. I wonder how many of my friends, I haven't even invited any of them, quite honestly, would actually show up for me, although I don't think I'm going to have a big problem. Even though I haven't spent any time in the past couple of weeks because I've been trying to get well, I haven't spent any time studying my paperwork or anything like that. I know what I know in my heart. I know what is true, and I believe I will be able to state the truth and to object if they try shenanigans like avoiding the issue. We'll see how it goes, because I'm going up into the den of the beast. Courthouses to me have a very bad feeling about them. They do not feel good. They are dens of iniquity. That doesn't mean that everybody that works in a courthouse or anything is a bad person. I certainly don't believe that. I don't believe that everybody that puts on a uniform and a badge, and I don't believe that all those people are bad and evil and wicked, and I don't believe that everybody that's a politician is evil, bad, and wicked. I don't blanket everybody under one tent, or paint everybody under one tent in any situation, because I know there are always exceptions. And I believe that there are exceptions, which is why I believe that I have a chance. If I didn't believe that any of these people could possibly be reached at the heart level, then it would be hopeless. And in some cases, in some situations perhaps, it is pretty hopeless, because some people are hell-bent on doing the wrong thing, and it doesn't matter what truth is or what law is. But I believe God is intervening in our world at this time and bringing down some of the strongholds that have held this matrix in place. And that's why I work with people like the ambassador and others in trying to bring a remedy, trying to bring solutions. It doesn't move fast enough for me. There are things that concern me still. However, you have to take action and do something. At least I feel you do. At least I have to take action, and I do it the best I can. And anyway, that's my conjecture for this video. I thank you for listening, and be interesting to see some of the comments that follow. So you have a beautiful day, and God bless you, and namaste.